we doing the My Name is Zoe thing? Yeah, no, we were doing
Yes,
that. Okay.
yes. Yes, correct.
Hi, my name is Zoe.
My name is Maria. Welcome to Hot Mess Express.
Grief Unfiltered. This podcast is not advice. It's just two widows talking honestly about grief, life, and everything in between. We're not professionals. We don't have all the answers, and some days we don't even have matching socks. We're just sharing our own experiences and what we've been through. If you're looking for professional support, please reach out to somebody qualified. It's not us. This is simply a space to listen, relate, and maybe feel a little less alone.
We both lost our husbands, but in completely different ways. And somehow we ended up in the same place. So what is your story, Zoe?
My story begins as a caregiver. I've been a caregiver, as you know, for probably about 7 or 8 years. My husband suffered with mental health issues and a lot of physical issues that sort of stemmed from that. So I became a caregiver. It started off at the very beginning as just a really sort of slow progression into illness, emotional support to start with, and then a lot more physical support, a lot of doctor's visits. And I was also the only income at the time. So my husband was on long-term disability, and over time he got worse and worse until September the year before last. He became really ill, ended up in hospital, and I became a full-time caregiver at that point, just visiting the hospital. Sadly, in March last year, he passed away, and that's where this next journey in life began. So he was very sick for a long time. It took a lot of energy, but we're going to discuss that at sort of a later date. It was planned that he was expected to pass because of his illness, and eventually became unconscious, but he could still hear. And he also had a service dog as well, which, again, pets, very important. We'll talk about at a later date. What about you, Maria?
So my husband, Gene, he passed away 2 years ago, April 2024. It was very unexpected. We came back from Europe and he was getting his knees replaced. And after the last knee replacement, he wasn't feeling well. And so the day that I came home, I discovered that he still had the same problem, and we kept thinking it was acid reflux. So at one point I said, well, maybe we should go to the hospital. And he was a little reluctant on that because he complained before and went to the emergency before, but not much was done then. And so I thought, okay, take a quick shower, and then I'm going to take you to ER. When I came out of the shower, he was on the couch, and I discovered that he had no vitals. So I called 911 and tried to perform CPR on him with my neighbor that I called in, and he was pronounced dead when we were in the hospital. So yeah, that's my story.
And so very different stories.
Yes, it is. So how did we meet, Zoe?
Well, actually, we met through a local grief group, and which you'd already been to one of them before. So we've got an amazing support network around here, and we were able to both go to this grief group. We also both had individual sessions. The individual sessions were great, but I really didn't really know that I needed the group sessions, but I thought it was a really good way to get with other people. And that's where I met you.
Yeah. And we actually met a little bit before that too.
We did.
Through work, my lovely manager, Karina, she introduced us first. And then we both had this in common, I guess you could say. And then we joined the grief group, and that's when we really gelled together. We became friends. So it was really nice.
Yeah, and I know that Karina introduced us actually because obviously you'd lost your husband a year before mine.
Yeah.
And I'd only just lost Robert. And then that's when we sort of, re-met, and especially we signed up for the same group, and that's where we really bonded. Now, how many people were in the group?
Not sure. I think it probably was about 7, I think. 7 or 8.
I think it was originally meant to be 10.
Yes, that's right. But there was right from the beginning, I think, 2 already kind of canceled, and then Joanne,
Joined.
who I met already with my first grief group, joined in to replace the other one. So yeah, you're right. That probably was about 9.
Mm.
Yeah, 9 of them. Yeah.
One of the things that we had noted from the grief group is that we were all at different stages. We all had different stories, and we all had different partners or loved ones that had died.
Yeah.
So whether it was there was a mother, there was a father, and then husbands or divorced husbands, which were still loved ones.
Yeah. And also, and a brother as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it was very interesting to hear how they went through grief, I found. And I have to say, I've learned a lot, like when it comes to coping mechanisms, which will be going into great detail. And yeah.
It's been a journey. And you, like I said, you were in a grief group before with Joanne.
Yeah.
What sort of time distance was it between the two grief groups?
I think it must have been, it was a good few months, because it was 3 months after before the last section, because they the last one, they don't do until like a few months later to see how this grief group actually has helped you, and, hopefully you learn things and that kind of coping mechanisms and things like that.
Yeah.
So, and what about the one-on-one? Did you find it helpful?
I did at the beginning, because I was in a job that was I was really struggling to cope emotionally. They were amazing. They would let me have time off and things, but that's a whole different story. But the one-on-one just allowed me to share with somebody who wasn't a relative, who wasn't a family member, and just to talk. But I also found it hard to keep talking. Like, an hour is a long time.
It
And
is.
sometimes it's really short, sometimes it's really long. But an hour was a long time. And I think I just needed to listen. And that's where the group was amazing. We just got to listen to each other. And sometimes you just needed peace and quiet just to be with others who were also in grief.
Yeah. I found that the one-on-one, I had a lot of silences for sure. So why are we doing this podcast?
Well, from where I sit, we need to be together. I've got to say, sharing stories, listening to stories, even though our group is finished, we still meet up for coffee. Yeah. We're still trying to get together. Not all of us, and everybody's got different schedules, and we all live in different places around this area, but that's a little bit tricky. But we really gelled, and the support for each other, having somebody who understands your story. How about you? What do you feel about this?
Yeah, I find that when I was looking for some support in other ways besides the group, I found that, especially when it came to podcasts and things like that, there wasn't a lot here in Canada, I discovered, and kind of disappointed in that. So I thought, you know what, why not, ask you, what do you think? Maybe we should do a podcast on just having a get together, talk about grief, be raw and honest about it. Yep. Have a cup of coffee. Absolutely. And 3 cups of coffee. Yeah. And and just tell your story. It's really, we're hoping that this helps everybody that is going through many kinds of griefs, right? Yeah. And the other day, actually, what was really funny is we were meeting in the coffee shop, and we do laugh. I've got to say, it's been nice to sometimes quite sick humor, but that will come out as we go. We have our different journeys, but even the grief group, when we were in the coffee shop the other day, there was another group of women. There was 4 women on the table, and we were just laughing and telling stories, and they actually came over and introduced themselves because they wanted to know what group we were in. Like, we just friends, and we told them it was a grief group, which they were completely surprised at. And they were like, "Can we join the grief group?" And we said, "Well, I don't know. Do you have past loved ones?" And they went, "No." Well, we did. Actually, I think we did joke that we could arrange that for them, but they weren't going for it. But they wanted to join anyway. So I think that really shone through with us being really strong. Completely different lifestyles, completely different lives, but actually we've all come together, and it's been great support. Yeah. And it's that's kind of one of the subjects we're going to approach too. And, laughing. how you feel when you do that in the beginning. And yeah, these feelings that are very real. So I think it'll be. I hope that it's going to be helpful for
Yeah.
people, that
It-
they can relate.
Yeah.
At least, at the very least, can
Yeah.
relate to us. And yeah, if you have any comments or anything at all, don't hesitate to leave a comment, and we'll get back to you.
It's us sitting over coffee, sharing that with you.
Yeah.
We are going to have some guests.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of our group are going to come in.
Yeah.
Slightly
It's gonna
sensitive.
be interesting.
Yeah. We might have some guidelines.
We might.
But basically, regarding guidelines, other than foul language, I think anything goes.
Yes.
I think it is, we don't want to filter this. We don't want to edit it too much. So sometimes it can be very raw and we'll laugh, we will cry.
Yeah.
But it's just to let you know that you're not alone and we're running through it now. We're going through it and we want you to be there with us.
Yeah. So the next episode.
Yes, our very first official episode.
Official. This is just an introduction.
Okay. It hopefully will get better as we go along, but we've decided to really completely ignore the camera because this is our fourth session and we've not done so well so far. We'll share some of those bloopers through the later stage. Sometimes we've just laughed, sometimes we just cried. We don't want to be sad and miserable. It's just about sharing our journey and making it fun. I would like to share with everybody a poem. I found therapy through writing. I've never written before. And I found therapy through writing poetry, being in the hospital and observing so much joy, so much sadness. And some of that is really reflected in poetry. So I would like to finish each session officially with one of my poems. And they won't all be sad, I promise you. Anyway, yeah, we're looking forward to the journey ahead and we want you to be with us.
Yeah. So what's the episode going to be called?
Okay, so our very first episode officially is going to be called The Day Everything Stopped.
Yep.
Except me.
Yeah.
And we're going to leave it at that for today. So thank you for joining us today. And we hope you share everything with everybody. Maybe even let us get a few episodes in first.
Leave a comment.
Yep. And it's going to take us a little bit of time to edit, but we will get there.
Yep. Yep. So
grab your coffee, enjoy, and hopefully join us for the next one.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Cheers.
Cheers.